1. Welcome back to the Divijs podcast, episode 101. We just passed 100 episodes.
That's great.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And if you guys heard that voice, you're probably like, who is that? Who is that? It's one of my good friends. We're actually having him back for the second time. He's matured a lot, I think, and has grown quite a bit from the last time we had him. And I think our conversation today is going to be a lot more informative, entertaining, and I think you guys are going to get a lot out of it. So please welcome Legit Tim to the studio.
Thank you guys so much for having me. You guys have been absolutely crushing it.
Thank you, bro.
100 episodes.
It's a lot, dude.
Consistency.
Yeah, consistency.
It's a lot.
We try.
Yeah. I remember when I started it, I was like in my car, like filming episodes like on my phone and like uploading the audio. But like to see us now having guests and doing this thing, like it feels great. But I think we're just at the ground floor, bro. Like,
We're growing though, but I feel like our conversations have matured, and we've had we get much more deep into the conversations, and we are really tapping in now. So I like it now.
Yeah.
Versus before. So if you're new, tune in more often. We're getting more nitty gritty and deep into it.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is like the main contributor to like staying consistent on the pod?
I think it's discipline, bro. It's like anything in your life, right? Like you go to the gym every day, you eat healthy every day. Like I think that's the key is you wake up and you just do it every day. Like there's times where, bro, we don't want to come in here. Like I don't want to sit here and talk to the person sitting next to me, to be honest. But like, no, today I actually feel good. So I want to talk
hilarious.
to you. But like, no, you got to just fucking show up. And, Noah Naiman, who's the founder of Rumble Boxing, on our last podcast, he said it's not about just showing up. It's about showing up and performing.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like really valid,
100%. That was a good pod. You guys were kind of wilding on that one though a little bit.
He was wilding.
Dude, he had a lot to say.
He's a fucking
honestly,
energizer.
Yeah,
Buddy,
he took the stage, but he had a lot of good, useful information that I think a lot of people can learn from. So.
Yeah. Well, I want to give you a proper intro.
Sure.
Question: do you go by Legit Tim still, or is it just Tim?
I think
Tim
we can.
Sanchez.
I think we can start to go by Tim. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's your call.
I think we
name,
can go by Tim.
Okay. Awesome.
For now.
Okay. See, maybe you revert back to Legit.
We might do a little revamp at some point. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you your intro. So Tim is a great friend. He's a creator, influencer, but you're now more than that. I mean, you're an actor. You do comedy. You're an entrepreneur. And, Tim started in the shoe space making videos on YouTube under the name Legit Tim. And it's probably one of the biggest sneaker creators on the internet. And I feel like you sort of almost pioneered that space. But it's been interesting to watch you sort of now sort of evolve into this, new identity, which is just Tim. He scratched Legit. And so I want to dive into that, man. I want to hear about what you've been up to and sort of what the plans are here for the future. Because I feel like, we had a great conversation at VidCon, and it sounded like you're sort of in a place where you feel like you've maybe exhausted the sneakers a bit, and now you want to evolve and enter this new realm of actual business and finance and that world. So I'd love to hear more about
man.
that.
I think first of all, thank you for all the nice compliments. Glory to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's just been a crazy journey. I've been doing the YouTube thing since I was 16. So that's like 10 years full time. I used to be daily, but like even more so, it's like one video a week, super innovative, super captivating, super highly edited, super big storyline, spending a lot of money. And it's just really, really, really exhausting to the point where I was kind of like, I don't know, I felt like something in me last year was kind of like, I'm ready for the next phase of life. Like I'm ready for something bigger. The YouTube stuff is cool, but like I feel like the YouTube audience, like let's take the subscribers for example. When they look at a YouTuber, they think that like that is like their peak of life. Like that is all they're ever gonna accomplish. And for some people it is, and for some people that's all they want, and that's great. But for me, and I know for other people, that is just the stepping stone to the next phase. And I truly feel like, it's the perfect time to start to make that pivot right now into other things, start expanding into other things, putting my hands into other things. And I think like being in LA, because I moved to LA, it's been about a year now.
Yeah.
So it's allowed me to really realize anything's possible that you put your mindset to, I think like being around these creatives and successful people, it's really expanded my mind. And like, for the last 10 years, it's just been like, okay, get the video out, make AdSense, get a sponsor maybe, put the video out, get AdSense. It's been like a hamster wheel. And like, I feel like a lot of people, what they don't talk about is, bro, doing YouTube full time is like it's like a 9 to 5, really. It's just like you are like kind of like a slave to YouTube. Like, no lie. Like, you have to, like, put out a new video. And it's like, you know, there's kind of like no, if you don't spend your money right, there's kind of no financial freedom. Like, it's like you can be making, you know, high 5 figs, maybe, you know, a little bit of 6 figs. But if you're spending all of that, you have to keep putting out content. And I feel like the old Tim, when I was younger, of course, it was like just like, you know, I remember when I was like 18 and 19, it was just like going to Vegas and like buying Gucci and like Louis Vuitton and like spending everything that I was making. And I think now I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, okay, now let's see what we can start to invest in. And also kind of like, what is the overall trajectory? Where do I want to be when I'm 40, 50 years old?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like the next phase of the entertainment aspect is really going mainstream with it. Just because it's like, I wanted to be an actor before I did YouTube. So my original Instagram name was @TimTheActor. A lot of people don't know that. But I did it all throughout middle school. In high school, I was like doing competitions, getting awards, you know, as a freshman. And always driving Austin, doing extra work. So it's like a lot of the social media people, they kind of just, you know, and my acting coach describes it as like they kind of see it as another way to just get rich and famous. And they don't really want it like that. They just kind of like, okay, cool, I'm doing social media. I guess I'll try to be a movie star. I'm like, cool, why not? But it's like in this industry, you really have to want it, and you have to work, and you have to be consistent with it. And so I think for me, it was just a natural, you know, hey, let's move on and let's circle back around to the acting and let's really put my fuel into this. The acting stuff's really weird right now, though.
Why do you say that?
I was just watching a YouTube video on this girl, and like after the strike, I mean, you know, from what she was saying, it hasn't fully recovered yet. Yeah. This is one of the worst times in like acting history. Like the studios are making major cutbacks, and not that many people are getting hired, and a lot of the studios kind of just want to stay safe and hire the actors they know are going to make a return on their investment for the stuff that they're putting out. If you think about it, they don't want to really start any new IP right now. That's why you see so many of these like old films coming back, because they want to play it safe and they know they're going to get a return on those for sure.
Got it.
So it's kind of it's a really weird time, but I also see it as a time for growth, right? Because I'm doing like acting like 4 times a week, and it's just like studying. And now like that I'm sitting in class, I realize how bad I was last year. like bro, like I genuinely, when I moved to LA, I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna get a show. This is gonna be easy. Like I got it set. It's gonna be set for me. And like even going into the acting class, like one of our first exercises was like, describe how you feel. And I was like, I feel confident. I feel like I'm ready. I feel like I'm going to get a show. Like, and everybody like hated me in there for it when I first joined the class. Really? Cause I was just like a ball of fire. Like I was like, I'm ready. I'm going to get a show like in a month. And I was even telling my acting coach, like, listen, dude, like we need to do one-on-ones, because as soon as this strike ends, I'm going to get a show. So, you know, and I honestly 100% thought that, but like looking back now, it's like, dang, it's not that easy to be an actor. It's really, they say it takes 10 years to fully master the art of acting.
Right. What's interesting, because you said you did YouTube for 10 years, right? So like you've done the 10 years of YouTube, you conquered that, you made it on YouTube, and now you're entering this new era of Tim as an actor. So do you feel like, even though you've been on camera, you've been acting forever, like you're still at the ground floor now of this new like career path for you?
It's been the most humbling experience of my life.
Bet.
Because you got to think about it. Last year, right, I'm living in Austin. I am owning a house. I am, you know.
Which, by the way, is fucking incredible. You're like, how old are you, 25?
No, I'm 26 now, but still, glory to God, though. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, like, keep in perspective, right, it's like last year, dude, you're, you know, flying to LA once a month, making videos, you have a whole team of people, you have a house, you're like the man, so on, so you're going to Soho House, like you're living it up, you're going to all the expensive restaurants. The YouTube thing's like a well-oiled machine. You're just like, okay, cool. Like I'm just gonna mess around and start a family now. Like I've done it. And then like now it's like I'm sitting in a classroom getting scolded at by my teacher, and I'm just like, you know, I feel so tiny right now. Like not it's weird though, because it feels almost like I'm living double lives, right? Because it's like I'm doing the social media side, and we're going to, you know, expensive dinners at BOA and meeting with all these super successful people and like doing like the influencer parties.
Yeah.
But then it's like I'm going to the acting space, and it's like just sitting in class, getting in trouble. Like, Tim, you need to stop talking. I'm talking right now. And it's like, dude, it feels like I'm in high school again.
That's crazy.
It's like everything you accomplish, scratch off the
it's
table.
like it doesn't matter in
because
that
it's
room,
like and then it's like and I didn't realize how little the social media portfolio mattered when it comes to being an actor. Like, I thought like, oh cool, like you're gonna be able to slide in. Dude, if you don't have work on camera, they don't care.
They don't care.
They don't care.
Yeah. But, you know, I do feel like they would care in the sense of, let's say there was a project coming out and, you know, they had a choice between Tim and someone else, right?
Sure.
Let's call him Timmy.
Sure.
But Tim has, you know, 3 million, 4 million followers on YouTube and Instagram, and Timmy has 1,000.
Right.
From like a marketing perspective for the movie, it would probably make a lot more sense for them to go with you because you have a following. You could, you know, when you get the lead role, you could go do press and, you know, podcasts and market the film.
Right.
So do you feel like your social media following is going to help you from that angle?
I 100% think so. I think if we're at the same level of talent, but see, a lot of these social media people are like full-time doing social media, not able to work on their talent. And this other guy, Timmy, he's a waiter, and he's just like giving it all to like perfecting his craft.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's why, you know, the social, like there hasn't been a super, I mean, there's been a few, but there hasn't really been any transitions from social media to mainstream.
No one's really gotten like a lead role from social media. Right.
The only one that I would say is like really, really close to it. Well, there's a couple. I think it's really interesting because let's go all the way back to Vine, right?
Yeah.
Half the Viners were like, we want to do YouTube. And they were really good at it. Logan, Jake, Dobrik, everybody. The other half was like, we want to do movies. And it's like those guys have been really, really, really quiet. But we're starting to see their films come out.
Yeah.
Like,
who are you referring to?
Okay, so like one, for example, Rudy Mancuso.
Oh,
Bro,
interesting.
Yeah, I just heard him talk
big.
about it on George's pod. George and Jeff were talking about Rudy, how he's coming out with some shit, and he was quiet off Vine.
He's been quiet for like a long time.
Dude, so he just came out with, he wrote the film, he produced the film, and he sold it to Amazon.
Wow.
Damn.
And he's the main character.
No
Damn.
shit.
It's crazy.
I remember he was like making like music content and like comedy skits on Instagram, but I haven't seen his shit for like 6 years.
Exactly. Same thing with, I just saw the new Zac Efron movie on Netflix.
Oh, it's
and
so good.
The best friend was Liza.
Right.
Which is
I saw that.
Crazy.
Yeah, Liza Koshy.
Yeah.
That was crazy too.
But she's been very quiet on socials because she's been putting in that work on the mainstream.
Yeah.
Same with Batch, right? Batch is like in like The Babysitter and like other Netflix things. I think he actually, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he produced his own series on Netflix too called Sneakerheads. It was like a 6-part series, and he sold it to Netflix. So these guys are really, really working.
Yeah.
But they are not active on socials.
Right. Is that kind of where you feel like you're heading now?
I feel like I'm heading. I feel like there's so many paths right now. I think I'm heading really into a real entrepreneurship type of vibe. Kind of, I'm at the point in my life where like truly, I say this, I really don't care about fame anymore.
Right.
Like when I was young, it was cool, and like I've had the moments of like fans coming up to me constantly in the mall and da 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 da. But like everything I do now is not. Fame is not a motivator.
Right.
You know, it's actually nice to kind of like have a break.
Yeah.
From like, especially like here in LA, there's not really any kids in the area that we live in.
Yeah.
So it's just like super refreshing to just like live a normal life. But I think like right now it's like, I want to make sure that the bag's good. So it's like putting my hand into, you know, the e-commerce world, also grinding out the acting stuff. But I know that's going to take a while. You know, that's going to take a while. So it's like, dude, right now it's like, you know, Mondays I have rehearsal with my scene partner for about 2 hours. Tuesday nights I do about 6 hours in acting class. Thursday it's like 4 hours at UCB improv, and then Friday it's 2 to 3 hours one-on-one with my acting coach.
Yeah.
So it's just boom, 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 boom. It's a lot, and then trying to have balance the social media thing on my plate. But it's interesting though. it's interesting because I'm always the type of guy that I'm like, let's try to find a way to finesse it. Like, let's try to, and dude, I'm going to be honest. Like, I was so close to moving back to Austin 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, I was like already house hunting because I was like, dude, everything I'm doing here, I can do back there. And dude, it's so crazy the way God works. Like, I was ready to go back to Austin, and the next week, I got represented by an agent.
Oh, wow.
So crazy.
Yeah.
Really, really, big agent that is really, really deep in the comedy space. And I feel like that was really, the fuel to keep going. And, so I kept pursuing the acting thing.
Yeah.
And then, some time had passed in like a month and a half. And as you know, the state of acting is kind of crazy right now. So I went in there to actually meet with the agents, and dude, just the stuff they were telling me was like blowing my mind, because they're like, we've worked with the top people they've been around since like, I think the 70s or something. And they're like, we've worked with the top people. And she's like, I just want to let you know, like, I can read when actors just come in here and just talk to talk.
Yeah.
We know that like you wanting to be, an executive producer and directing and stuff, you're going to do it,
Yeah.
Like you have that, what it takes. And so I think just hearing that from her just really fired me up. You know?
Kind of lit the fire under your ass a bit, give you that reassurance that you probably needed.
100%.
That makes sense. I want to go, because you mentioned God a few times, which I love, and I'm glad, because I definitely wanted to talk about it. Do you talk to God, like, if you could share, like, do you speak to God on a daily basis?
Always, yeah. I start my day off, the first thing I do before I even like do anything is I literally roll out on my bed and I get on my knees, just because I'm like, this is what fills the entire day. Like, I give God the glory for everything that I do. I mean, if you don't, it's like, there's a verse in the Bible, and I don't want to misquote it, but it was like, he didn't give God the glory, and then it was like really, really, something really bad happened to him in the Bible. But I just truly, like, I've had ups and I've had downs, and I think, like, I see how fast it can go when pride enters.
Correct. Yeah.
When pride enters, it just like, it's the downfall, truly is. And so I try not to like let any inch of pride overtake me, and I pray for that every morning, to remain humble no matter what happens.
Yeah.
For sure.
I love that, man. What's interesting to me is like, and it's something that I've been struggling with is, I speak to God every day too, but sometimes I feel like I can't get through to him, and I can't get the guidance that I need, right? So, for example, in your position where you may be at a crossroads of like, hey, do I want to stay in LA? Do I want to go to Texas and do the thing? But, you can't find that answer. Maybe you don't feel like God's giving you that answer. Like, have you encountered that where maybe like you really, really want him to tell you what to do, but you haven't been able to connect with him?
I think sometimes it's like his timing's perfect 100% of the time.
Yeah.
And so I think like a lot of it for me is like yes, no, or not yet.
Oh, interesting.
And it's like sometimes when we're going through that, we don't realize like, God, why is this happening? Like, why are you not letting me do this? And it's just like later on we look back and we're like, oh my gosh, God, that's why you didn't allow that to happen.
Right.
Because it wouldn't make sense. Now it's perfect timing. Right now it's perfect timing. It's crazy. It really is.
Yeah. 100%. Question for you is, because you're an entrepreneur, right? Like, you started Legit Tim. I assume you probably started that at some point from scratch, right? Like, no one was Legit Tim before you. So, like, when you started that, like, how did you like get the faith as opposed to the fear? And even now, as you're entering acting, it's like you can be totally scared. It's the worst time in the industry to get into acting. You're just starting off in classes and doing the thing. Like, but it seems like I'm getting the vibe that you have the faith that you're gonna be able to be successful, whether it's now or in 10 years. Like, where does that faith come from, and how are you able to like put fear to the side?
Well, I think a lot of it has to do with like, well, first of all, I think a lot of the reasons why people are not winning is they lack self-confidence. I feel like that is probably like the number one key, and it's not cockiness, it's not pridefulness, it's self-confidence. If you look at everybody in this world, they were delusional, but they 1000% believed in themselves. And it's like a lot of times we have these factors in our life, whether it's our parents growing up or our girlfriend or our boyfriend, and it's like they hold us back. People do not realize how much your family can hold you back.
So true.
Especially like, you
So
said
true.
in the Midwest, right? It's like big family. They want you to live with them forever. But they're going to tell you things that are going to ruin your life because they want you to stay living with them forever. And they don't realize, like these kids don't have their own brains. Like, they don't realize, like, my mom and dad, they're selfish. They are selfish. They want to keep their baby in their house forever, but, you know, spread their wings. And so I say this, right? And, right, I'm probably going to get canceled for this, but it's the truth, right?
Say it.
It's like, white people are not attached to their families. They go out and they become billionaires. Mexicans, the reason, you know, we are just so family oriented. So it's like they
so
struggle.
valid, yeah.
They struggle their entire lives because they want to be with mommy and daddy and go to the dinners and the birthdays and the quinces. And it's like these white people have no attachment to their family. They're gone. They're moving to San Francisco and they may visit their family once a month and they're crushing it and they're able to set that up for their future families. And so it's like a lot of times I wouldn't even look at my own people most of the time. I have to look at other people and I have to see what are they doing and how can I do that for myself, you know?
Yeah.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
It's really tough, you know?
Dude, you're so right. And I don't think you're going to get canceled for that because you're valid and I'll support what you're saying.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But and we're kind of going all over the place, but I like it because this was also something I want to talk to you about and I'm glad it's coming up is the concept of like your parents and then starting a new family, right? So like all of us, most of us, unless you're like a fucking alien, like came from a mom and a dad or mom and a mom, whatever. And then you end up going through life, and then you start your own family. So you've kind of transitioned from this family into this family. You change households. But that process of going from, you know, your parents' house to your new house that you have to kind of create as you go into the world is difficult because you see your parents getting older, you're finding yourself, you want your freedom. And so, you know, one thing I've struggled with is I love my family. I love my mom to death, and I want to be with them every day,
100%.
like every second of the day. But you can't always be that way. You have to go out, you have to work, you have to, you know, meet a girl, meet a guy so you can start, you know, have a family, have kids. So how have you been able to sort of like navigate the parent relationship versus now, because I know you're married or you're engaged.
Right.
How's that process been for you?
So I think the second time I moved to LA when I was 20 years old and my wife was 19, I think it held me back from so much. It like kind of like we were in LA and we were crushing it, right? Like most successful we had ever been. And then 4 months into living here, my family came to visit. And I saw my little sisters and I saw my dad and I saw my mom, and then everything started coming in my head like, oh, what if something happens to them? Like what if, you know, and so I ended up moving back to Texas, and you know, COVID hit and I was spending like every single day with them. And I think I kind of had my fill of being with them since I was with them every day. But more importantly, it made me realize that, like, I don't know. I want to be able to like take my family on a yacht or, you know, on these super expensive experiences. And it's never going to happen if I don't put in that work. So it's kind of like, dude, it's scary because anything can happen at any moment. But I just feel like you can't live your life in fear.
You have to take care of yourself before you can take care of the people that you love.
100%.
Yeah.
That's one of my biggest fears, though. Honestly, is like I told my grandma that I would take her to Hawaii, and I haven't done it yet. So I'm kind of like, damn, like first of all, I need to do it, and second of all, it's just like anything can happen at any moment, and then I'm gonna regret that forever.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's selfish, but not really, because I guess I'm just thinking about my future kids.
Right.
I'm just thinking about my future kids. I'm not thinking about myself really. It's more about like providing for my wife and my future kids. And I also know that like there's going to be a time where I do go back. Like the end goal is not to like be a big Hollywood producer, but I want to take it back to Austin. I want to take the executive producing back to Austin in 10 years or whatever. And at that point, I think like it's going to be 10 times better, and I'm going to thank myself for doing it, because then it's going to be like, hey, I'm hosting Easter at my house, and I'm be able to provide, and you know, bartenders, the cooks, whatever, you know, and it's, yeah, I mean, it's making those daily sacrifices, man.
Exactly.
It really is.
For a future that you're envisioning for yourself.
100%, 100%. Because it's like we said back in my culture, it's like everybody wants to be comfortable. Nobody wants to make that sacrifice. And it's tough. If you want to, like they always say, if you want to have something that people don't have, you got to do something people aren't willing to do.
Yeah. 100%. Exactly. I also love that you said that you wake up and you go on your knees. And it's someone said to me that they said we're all one phone call away from being on our knees. And that to me was like, holy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like at any point it could just be gone. And so I think for you to wake up every day and just thank the Lord, and because you're just approaching your day with so much gratefulness, and I think that's just such a beautiful thing, man.
Dude, I mean, it's hard out here in LA to be humble.
Yeah, it is.
You know, it really is. So I think like just starting off that day with humility, getting on my knees and showing God like, hey, at all costs, I'm doing this for you. I'm not just going to like, it's easy to just like lay down in bed and start talking to God, but it's like getting on your knees before anything, you know, it's just, I've seen so much growth in it. And I've honestly seen like me getting closer to God by starting off my day like that. Cause it's so easy to forget and get wrapped up in your day. And it's like, by the time you know it, it's like boom, boom, boom. Like, to be honest, I read my Bible every morning, but I do it in the like audible version while I'm like brushing my teeth. Yeah. Just so I can get the daily bread in, because it's like, you guys know how busy life is here. So it's before anything, before, you know, the gym, before anything, it's like boom, on my knees, boom, got the daily bread in. And then I listen to it a third time with my wife on the way to the gym. We have our a different Bible app that we listen to.
Yeah.
But I think like starting your day off like that, it's incredible, because I think when you start off your day, it kind of like sets up the whole rest of the day, the attitude that you're in, the mood that you're in.
Yes.
Were you growing up, were you in a very like religious household, or where did you get your sense of faith? Why is it so strong? And like, was it your family that put that in you?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I've been going to church since I was a little kid, like since I was like 3 or 4. But I don't think it was necessarily religious, because I think like there was things in our life that like, it was more about like the relationship with God. I think, my dad, we kind of left the church at one point, and he started a home church, and God called him to be a pastor. And so we started a home church, and I think for the last like maybe 10 years, they'd been doing this home church, and it was bringing in the people that were burned by the churches, that were burned by the religious people. They didn't want to step into a church building anymore. And so we've been doing that, but I think really it called me to have my own relationship with God. When I was a freshman in high school, I noticed myself starting to drift a little bit, starting being with the popular kids, and everybody wanted to just party and, smoke and girls. And, I had to really find my true relationship with God. And I think a lot of it happened because I had such a tight-knit friend group at church. And those are still my brothers to this day, like Joel, who's editing for me. I met him through church, and iron sharpens iron, right? So it's like having those guys as your, to help you in the faith. It's super important, 100%.
Yeah,
100%.
Having a community of people that are on the same wavelength as you, because like you are the average of 5 people,
right? Exactly.
And if you're hanging with a bunch of bums,
dude, and that's what I'm saying about LA, right? That's what I'm saying about LA, though, is like you are around these people.
Yeah.
So it's like you chase more and you want more, and it's what's even better is when you can find somebody that's successful and believes in God, because that's the hardest thing.
The lethal combination right there.
That is the hardest thing, and that's why, luckily, I found my, I think you know him, my brother Anthony. He's filming for Vitali now.
Oh, well, yeah.
So he's from San Antonio. We didn't know each other before this year. What? Turns out his grandpa was my dad's pastor growing up.
Wow.
No way.
And when I went home, I ran into his family at a Mexican restaurant, and they were like, "Do you know our son?" And I was like, "No, I don't know your son." And ended up connecting. He was filming for me for YouTube for a while, but he's super strong in the faith as well. So, there's a lot of times where, he's sharpening me out here. Yeah. Tim, don't go to that party, So, and it's just like, constant sharpening. Yeah. For sure. It's super important.
It's so important, man. I think, believing in God, man, has definitely changed my life too. And I feel like once you find it, bro, all you want to do is like share it with everybody around you, because you just realize how impactful it is. And one thing that I learned is, every day I think we're trained, especially as men, to, get stronger, go to the gym, be this fucking like meathead, like, that's the only way you get girls, But I feel like people don't talk enough about, you got to train your body, but you also got to train not only your mind, but also your spirit. And so I think it's beautiful that, you do all 3 of those things. Do you read as well? Like, are you doing other things?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I've done like books and stuff, of course, like all the entrepreneur books. But, I want to touch on something you said, because it's crazy, because in society right now, right, we're taught to be like the strongest. But what God teaches us is that when we are weak, he is strong.
Yeah.
We have to lower ourselves so that he can raise us up.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That's, dude,
You know?
such a beautiful, yeah, you're so right, bro. And I think once you lose the ego, man, especially in LA, it's like, you know, everyone comes here. I used to be this guy. I was like, man, LA, bro, like, you know, you come here, you make money, and you're like, fuck, bro, like, there's just like cloud of depression here, dog, like ego, da-da-da. But then you realize it's like, it's because you have the ego.
Right.
But when you lose the ego and you get out of your ego mind and you just become present, right? The Power of Now, great book. I always talk about it.
Nice.
It's just like, bro, like everything becomes so, the world just opens up to you, despite of you being in LA, which can be such a toxic place.
Right.
It's only toxic if you look at it as toxic.
Yeah.
But truly,
it's
great.
crazy because I truly feel like I've been covered the entire time I've been in LA. Like, you kind of feel a little bit of like the spiritual warfare when you first move here, but I feel like for the most part, God's kind of had me in this bubble where it's just like peace, 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 peace. Even in my home, you know, the location's crazy, and you know, there's a lot of diabolical things that go around all around my home.
Yeah.
But it's just like, I feel like it's been constantly protected under God and with, you know, his angels watching over it, Holy Spirit's in there. And it just is so peaceful. And it's just constantly praying over the home. Yeah. You know?
I love that,
so,
man. It's so important to have like a home that you feel is like your home. That's amazing.
But I do feel like ego will destroy you. And and I have to constantly check myself on that every single day. I was just talking to my
you're a confident guy. You know
well,
what I mean?
I was just talking to my acting coach about that on Friday, right? And it's like in my scene that I'm performing, right? Before I go up on stage, we're doing Faults in Our Stars, which is like super emotional, super, you know, the kids are sick and stuff. And my friend tells me, he's like, man, you're getting buff. And so when I'm up there performing, I'm like flexing my shoulders, like making sure I look good and stuff while I'm performing. And I'm like, dude, subconsciously I'm doing it. I have to kill all ego when you're on stage, you know, or when you're in the movie. You have to kill all ego. It doesn't matter if you look ugly. It doesn't matter how you look. You have to really, really perform. And that's, dude, it's every day. Everything goes back to ego. Everything goes back to killing ego. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But also you have to constantly boost your confidence because if you don't, nobody will.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. What are things that you do to boost your confidence?
Dude, honestly, I just, I feel
besides flexing in the mirror.
Dude, I feel like I'm just surrounded by love right now. Like, because, you know, I've lived in 3 cities, San Antonio, Austin, LA, and I just feel like constantly on my Instagram, anything I do, it's just like they just like constantly just push me. Like they're just like I just get DMs all the time and they're just like, I guess because I'm doing things that like nobody ever does. So it's like, dude, I'm just like at a point right now in my life where I've never felt more grateful for the amount of people that's just like pushing me towards greatness. It's crazy. Yeah. It's really, really crazy the amount of support I'm getting. But I think, I don't know, man. I mean, I think it's just like, if you know me, like, you know, I have a very pure heart and I don't have bad expectations. So I think confidently knowing that like you're doing the right thing is like, first of all, the big piece in confidence, because it's like you're approaching this as a certain way. But I think it's like just escalating and making progress, I feel like, is the biggest thing. Yeah. And just constantly making progress and momentum. Like once you get momentum, do not let go of it, because
for sure,
you know, during COVID, dude, it was like, I was telling my wife, I was like, man, like, you know, this is the lowest I've ever felt. Like, I want to be the man again. Like, I want to move back to, when we were in LA, like, we were crushing it. We were doing these things. And it was like my momentum was just like rock bottom. But it's like slowly, dude, 2021, boom, started getting the YouTube back. Boom, 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 moved back to LA. And now it's like this big ball of momentum that you don't even realize that you're in, but you just got to keep moving, bro. You can't get comfortable. You got to just keep moving.
Yeah. 100%. Speaking of that, I want to kind of transition into the world of, because you mentioned e-commerce.
Sure, of course.
Tell me about that. How did you fall into e-com?
So e-commerce has been life-changing, bro. Like, I mean, the money on e-commerce versus the AdSense money is just night and day. Yeah. Like, it's like, you know, I'd been chasing the AdSense money and dancing like a clown for a couple cents, and now it's like I see that I can just be behind the scenes and strategically, you know, approach it similar to the way we do YouTube. But now it's just like the ROI is just like nuts, dude. So first thing right now, let me get my water real quick. Where did I put it?
It's right in front of you.
Is it?
Right there.
There we go. Okay.
Hydration. Stay hydrated, ladies and gentlemen. It's important. And don't do
We're
nicotine.
all sponsored up today. Got the nicotine, got the Gatorade.
Yes,
I just realized I'm wearing Fashion Nova socks.
Let's go. Brand deals. Bring us the brand deals. Come on.
I'm getting a new watch, but I've been wearing the the movement watches.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
I've been movement. Let's go.
Pretty fire.
Lock
fire.
it down.
Let's go.
Lock it down. Paid me a big bag, but still got to rep the watch. You know. Okay. TikTok Shop has been the craziest thing, the biggest opportunity that we have seen since early Amazon days, since early Facebook ads, since all these drop shippers went crazy. TikTok Shop is the biggest opportunity, and the way that I found it was super weird. So, you know, as I started the YouTube thing, been in the YouTube thing for a long time, I kind of inspired my family to kind of follow the same suit. So my mom's always been very entrepreneur spirit. And she started, like, I think she was trying to run up a Facebook page for, like, the AdSense.
Yeah.
So, like, that's what she was doing at first. And, like, she was, like, uploading all these reels and, like, making, like, a fishing themed page and, like, started making a couple racks a month. And then so honestly, like, she was saying, like God was giving her a sign, and it sounds really funny, but, like, she kept seeing, like, pickles everywhere. So it was like, yeah, like, I went to the store one time and I was like, oh, I want to try, like, this pickle beer.
Yeah.
And then it's like pickleball, and then, like, all these, like, things with the word pickle, like, just, like, started coming in her life, and she's like, what the heck, like, this is, so she's like, I don't know what you want me to do, God, like, should I get into pickleball? so she starts buying, like, pickleballs to, like, resell, like, the kit and stuff. And first of all, she found TikTok Shop, which I don't even know how she started with TikTok Shop, because it just came out, right? It's, like, so new.
Yeah.
So she's trying to sell a product on TikTok Shop, and ends up finding a snack that's going viral called the chamoy pickle kit.
Oh, interesting.
And they're manufactured in San Antonio, which is my hometown, which is where she lives. So she starts getting the chamoy pickles and packaging them in bulk as a kit and starts selling them on TikTok Shop. Nobody knows she's doing this. She's doing this like none of the family knows she's doing this.
So
she makes a sale. She goes and she ships it off to the post office. And then, dude, 4 months later, it just blows out of the water.
No way.
Number 2 on all of TikTok Shop for food and beverage.
Stop.
2 warehouses, tens of thousands of orders a day, 40 plus employees. Going
What?
crazy, bro.
Bruh.
Life changes forever.
This is your mother that you're speaking
Yes.
of. That's unreal,
Dude, it
bro.
runs in the family.
Dude,
Everyone in
and
their
glory to God.
family.
It's all God, dude.
Bro, that's what I'm
And
saying. Like,
Yeah,
God does
what the
work in beautiful
fuck?
ways. The fact that he was showing her pickles, like, here and there, like,
Crazy.
bro.
It's crazy. And so...
Is it
Go
the
ahead.
Tex-Mex pickle? Like,
Yes, yeah,
that's
yeah,
your
the
mom?
big Tex. Well,
the big Tex?
That's not my mom.
Oh.
She was just like buying them and selling them as the kit on TikTok. So the people that make it is Alamo Candy.
Right.
And so she has a great relationship, started buying them in pallets, going to Sam's, buying the hot Cheetos and Takis, packaging it all together.
Wow.
But the crazy thing about TikTok, right? This is why TikTok Shop stands above all. They are investing so much money into acquiring customers right now. They are giving you free coupons to use on their shop, and they pay the sellers the full amount.
Wow.
So say, for example, the pickle kit's $29.99, right?
Yeah.
First of all, first-time customers on TikTok Shop get 50% off. But your your coupons can stack up. So say you're a first-time user, 50% off, $15, and then you also realize, hey, it's a Mother's Day sale right now, and TikTok gave me another coupon for another 25% off. So it's like the prices keep going lower and lower. Dude, people were getting these pickle kits at one time for like 99 cents. And TikTok was paying my mom the full $30 for it.
my God.
So,
That's
and then
unreal.
on top of that, it was a trend. So it's like these influencers are like just making them for fun. And then hence comes the TikTok affiliate program, which is, my mom was telling me forever, like, Tim, you got to start this. You got to do it. You got to do it. I'm like, Mom, whatever. Like, I'm at like 2.3 mil on TikTok, and I've gotten like tens of millions of views before, but I've never really made money on TikTok. Ever. And so it was like something I would do, like, hey, let's do a TikTok, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was never something that I was seriously pursuing. I'm like, there's no money in this, dude. Like, there's no money in this, until the affiliate program came out. So I started a second page. I was doing this thing called the loophole method, where you needed 5,000 followers to join, But if you started your TikTok account as a seller account, you could automatically start doing the affiliate program. And so I started like 3 accounts or whatever that I was doing. And at first I didn't really know what I was doing. I was hustling. I was like showing like the astronaut projector, you know, and I made my first sale. I was at Soho House. I was super hyped. I was like, the money's just gonna start coming in. And it didn't at all. But then, dude, I just started posting my mom's pickles. And they went bananas, bro. They went crazy. Like,
wow.
I was like, it was at the point to where like I literally, because YouTube's been my full-time thing. So like from January, yes. Because January, I was going through a really hard time on the channel and I didn't know what I was going to do because like I lost my editor and like I lost majority of my team. So it got really, really difficult. I was like contacting people on Twitter. These kids are horrible on Twitter, by the way. Never hire anybody on Twitter. Because these kids literally are like 14 years old and they're super, super talented.
Yeah.
Maybe not 14. I shouldn't say that for legal reasons. They're like 18.
18.
And so these kids are 18. But the moment that like Preston Play slides in their DMs, they're like, hey, brother, sorry, I can't get that video done for Saturday. Bye.
Yeah, and then they just go to the
And then
next
they just
person.
dip. And I'm like,
Yeah.
they tell you that at like Friday night at like 10:30 at night.
It just messes your flow up completely.
Yeah, bro. Like, these kids are like not reliable at all. They're super talented, but it's like, dude, they're like
Tim's out here
making,
shitting on the 15-year-old.
dude, because it's like, and all the YouTubers know this already. Like,
Yeah,
I've had
yeah.
discussions.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked to one YouTuber and they're like, yeah, we have a no-go list on about like 200 Twitter freelance guys. Because the
Oh,
kids
wow.
know there's so much money in this.
Yeah.
These kids are making like $10,000 a month. But, dude, it's so unprofessional. It is like the Wild West for these kids. Like they make up their own rates too.
Yeah.
So it's like one day they're like, yeah, man, I'll do your thumb for $20. And then you talk to them in a month when they've worked with like freaking Brent Rivera and they're like, yeah, it's going to be $300 for your thumb. And it's just like so unprofessional.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I was going through all that, dude, like getting messages like the night before my video was supposed to go live, like, hey, brother, I can't edit your video anymore. I'm having panic attacks. I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing with the channel. And so then TikTok Shop comes in, start killing it with the pickles. And then like from like January to maybe April, I was just doing TikTok affiliate, doing 3 TikToks a day on all my pages. And I was making the most that I've ever made on YouTube in a month in my whole career in 1 month. Or, dude, honestly, like I was probably in February, I think we were doing weeks where I was making as much as I made on YouTube in a month.
Oh, wow.
And is this all the pickle, or are you doing a bunch of
This is
products?
all pickle right now.
Oh, so
Wow.
it's
This is
all your
all
mom.
pickle.
So does your mom get a lot of that money too? Is it
Yeah.
like oh
yeah,
fuck
so she
yeah.
gives me a cut, but also she's running ads on my TikToks. She's using them as ads. So that's where the real sauce is when a brand comes in and they're like, we want to use your video as an ad, you give them the Spark ad code. And then if they start putting in like a lot of money into it, you're making money off every single sale. So like there's guys on TikTok that have like 40 million views because the brand's just like running it up as an ad.
Yeah.
And he's just like banking.
Just
baby.
cashing it.
Banking.
Can I ask you a question? So
Yes.
you're filming all this content with the pickles. Is your house like red?
Your hands get really red, bro. We have like so many pickle kits in the pantry. It's crazy. But at this time, dude, I was like finessing the YouTube game hard, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured out a way to make easy money on YouTube, bro. Like easy money, dude. I was like making like good. Like I started making more money doing this method than when I was like trying to do a crazy video a week, and I was just uploading compilations of my previous stuff, bro.
Oh, interesting.
Like I would just combine like 7 of my videos. It would take me like 5 minutes, boom, export and upload it. And YouTube, for some reason, the algorithm's pushing hour-long videos right now. So those things just flew, bro. So I'm like making bank off YouTube. I'm doing great on TikTok Shop. And I was just like, dude, it was like the laziest months of my life. Because I'm just
caking.
like, dude, I'm just picking up the phone for 5 minutes. Hey guys, get the big, dude. And then on YouTube, I'm just like, boom, export. Okay, video's done for the week. I played more Call of Duty than I ever had in my life in like February, bro. Like I was just nuts. But then I kind of started getting like, this was before I was doing improv and stuff. So I started getting a little like sad, honestly, because I was just staying home all day.
You're just like
every day.
retired, yeah.
Yeah, bro, just like freaking lazy. So ended up, so this is where we're at now, right? It's so my mom, so TikTok shop is the wild west right now. And so they are like early Amazon, where it's just like they have AI that they're trying to like have rule. So my mom ends up getting a lot of bad reviews. They stack up. And keep in mind, she sold like 100,000 or something crazy. I don't know, units, 200,000.
Wow.
It's a lot of pickles.
So, but out of all of that, when people don't enjoy the pickle, when they don't like the pickle, they leave it a bad review. So TikTok sees all the bad reviews, they delete the account. The account goes down.
Oh.
So right now they're in the process of getting it back up, but everybody that's selling on TikTok Shop right now is experiencing this.
Oh, interesting.
And so I'm like, dude, I gotta figure out a way. Like, I can't just rely on my mom's pickles for like income. So I'm like, okay, let's do more research. So I get in the lab and I start figuring out what products to sell on TikTok on my own. And it's really hard at first, and I'm trying to really figure it out. But the supplements are like #1 right now on TikTok, dude. And so when I got into supplements, I'm doing like creatine gummies, I'm doing like sea moss, I'm doing like all this stuff. This stuff is like, the good for you stuff is like the #1 stuff on TikTok.
Yeah.
So dude, I went down a deep rabbit hole, and I'm just like, podcasts, consuming. Dude, there's kids in Miami that they're like forming these groups. And there was a girl, like 3 months ago, she's working at Chipotle and McDonald's, making $1,000 a month. Now she's making like $140,000 a month, dude, off TikTok affiliate.
Unreal.
And this is like, it keeps coming because she knows what she's doing. So dude, it's like these kids, and the opportunity is so big right now because every influencer is sleeping on it. Nobody understands it, and nobody's like, it's kind of like when TikTok first came out, and Bryce and Addison and Charlie were all like, let's do this. They were normal people. Well, maybe not Bryce, but like the rest of them were just like normal people.
Yeah.
And the influencers were like, we're too good for TikTok. It's exactly what's going on with TikTok Shop right now.
Interesting.
The normal people are going to be the big hitters, and all the influencers are going to fall behind because they don't want to ruin their brand, or they don't want to, come down.
Just
to
take the
TikTok
time
Shop.
to like also research it, right? Like, because it's a new platform, it takes a little bit of effort.
100%. But I truly feel like this is going to be the biggest thing. Like in China and in the East, they're like only shopping on short form video.
Yeah. What happens if TikTok gets banned?
Would it be the East or the West?
What?
China.
You can get there either way.
Right. I'm like, what do people call it?
I think
Anyways.
it's the East, because like there's
East, right. Okay,
there's
good.
dating
I'm just
at
making
meets
sure.
West.
Good,
Yeah,
good. I'm
whatever,
just making
yeah.
sure I didn't sound dumb right there. Anyways, so TikTok Shop is crazy. The algorithm on TikTok is so dope, bro. Like, it's crazy.
So how would you get started? Is it like you just find a product and list it on there, and then
Yes. So you have to be, I think right now they made I think you have to have over 1,000 followers now. Some people are buying accounts. I don't think it's legal, but some people are buying accounts. I'm running up 3 accounts right now. And dude, what's crazy about it is like the secret sauce is like, you don't even really need to pick your product. So the way the TikTok Shop is working right now is like, if something is sold like over 100,000 units, the algorithm will naturally boost it, like naturally. So it's just like finding the product that like has done a lot of sales, and the algorithm just does the rest right now. It's money printing. It is literally.
Oh, wow.
Bro, I literally am like, just, my videos literally consist of like, just like, hey guys, the CMOS pills are on a crazy sale right now. If you add your TikTok coupons, people are messaging me that they're getting it for like $5, and then boom, I'm uploading that thing. And like, it's like sitting low for a little bit, but then like a week from that, it's just like, boom, the algorithm just takes it, and you just see the sales coming in. The way that TikTok is working right now is like, your videos don't really start flying until like a week or two. So it's really weird. It takes the algorithm a little bit of time, but it's like planting the seeds, right? And then it's like, bro, like I had found the CMOS pills, and I just did one video for them. And then like, I'm in Dallas 2 weeks ago, and I just am getting on the plane and open my phone, and I'm like, I think it's glitching, because I'm like, bro, how did I make this much money? And I look, and my old video just like ended up skyrocketing. And then like, by the night, bro, I didn't even like do anything with TikTok Shop that day. It just like was my best day ever because I had planted that video. So it's like really truly passive income that people are missing out on.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's truly passive income. And so right now, dude, I'm very confident that I think I can make it to, God willing, I think I can make it to 6 figures a month on there.
That's
Scaling
crazy.
my platforms for sure.
How does it work with the fulfillment? Let's say you find the CMOS and you really want to sell the CMOS. Like, after you list it on TikTok Shop, how do you actually handle the logistics
My brother,
and fulfillment?
that's the crazy part. Affiliates don't touch anything. We just order the sample from TikTok. They send it to us for free, and we just promote the product. And depending on the product, like I think for the CMOS, I'm getting $6-7 a sale.
What?
Without shipping, without dealing with customer returns, without dealing with anything. You just promote the product, and like, you know, some products are like $10 a sale.
Wow.
So
That's
it's like
unreal.
crazy. But the next step for me is like coming out with my own product on TikTok Shop.
Yeah.
So I had a meeting yesterday. I'm in development of my own product that I'm going to sell on TikTok Shop. Make it to where the affiliates are making like $10 a sale. And then you have these kids, similar to the Twitter kids. And they're just like in their room all day.
Just cranking
live
videos.
streaming
Yeah.
and cranking videos on your product and selling it. It's crazy. It's crazy. This new generation of kids is nuts, first of all.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
smart. They're getting really smart, bro.
Like there's never
Yeah.
been a time to make more money ever in history. Like I wish this stuff was around when I was in high school. It was just YouTube back then. It was
Yeah.
just like, you know.
Yeah.
But it's, gosh, dude, like if I could tell more people to jump on it, I would. It's just so slept on. You know, and people are, the biggest fear is like, oh, the ban.
Right. That was my
But-
question. Is what happens if TikTok gets banned in the US?
First of all, I don't think it's going to get banned. There's way too much money in it, and
Yeah.
we already have buyers lined up that are ready to buy. And here's the biggest thing, though, for me is like in 2020, I was getting like 500,000 followers a week.
Oh, wow.
And then they said, hey, TikTok's going to get banned. In 2020, dude, we were all making videos. We were like, guys, follow us on Instagram in case it gets banned tomorrow. And these kids like Josh Richards and Bryce Hall, they didn't care. They're like, boom, 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 boom. I don't care if it gets banned. Dude, just growing. If I would have kept going from in 2020, bro, I would be at like 20, 30 million. So now seeing what I know now, I'm like, I'm not going to let this potential ban scare me anymore.
Yeah.
They've been talking about this since 2020.
Right.
And I prevented it from, you know.
Yeah. And thinking about it, like, oh, TikTok could get banned. That's kind of like not using email because you're like, oh, the internet could fucking fall out one day. Like, it doesn't.
Bro,
it doesn't make any sense.
it can happen with any industry, bro. Any industry
Yeah.
at any time. It's happening. It happened with the actors where they didn't get work forever. And it can happen in literally any industry, but we just got to pivot and adjust and never get comfortable. And that's why I'm just like, you always have to be searching for the next thing.
Yeah.
Because if TikTok goes banned, cool, I'm going to have my e-com product. I'll go do Amazon FBA. We'll run ads on Instagram. You know, so it's just like always finding the next thing and diversifying the portfolio for sure, which is why even though, you know, the YouTube, it's paying the rent and like, you know, it pays the employees, but it's not really going crazy right now. But I'm like, I still need to pursue like other things, you know?
Right.
You can't have your eggs in one basket for
Yeah.
sure. That's probably the biggest lesson I've learned, especially through COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
What I'm getting from you, dude, is like you're really good at building systems, right? And I think as an entrepreneur, like you want to build systems that are in place where you don't have to physically be sitting there fucking typing
Right.
and doing da-da-da.
Right.
So I think it's really cool. If you have
I
your
appreciate
TikTok
it.
system, you have your YouTube system, and now you're able to focus your time on what you really love, which is acting.
Acting.
And I think that is like such a beautiful place to be in, bro.
I mean, you're
It's
the
like-
same way though. It's the way to do it, man. I mean, and I think like
Yeah.
even with this new product I'm developing, it's like I'm gonna be in the trenches, I think, for like 6 months a year, but then it's like hiring the CEO and then hiring the team out for that and just letting it go. And yeah, I think even with the YouTube thing, like systemizing that again and really getting that, you know, flawless. Cause yeah, I mean, I think there's still a lot of opportunity in YouTube. I don't think that it's the biggest, like the brightest that we've ever seen YouTube. I think they're kind of ruining their platform a little bit right now. I think TikTok's eating them alive, but I think that there's still opportunity. I think like if there was young kids though, I would advise them to stay away from YouTube. If you didn't start already, I would tell them not to start, unless you're doing shorts. But
Right.
short form content is the way of today. I think it's pushing Reels. I think it's pushing TikToks. I know Snapchat is kind of dying, not dying, but their money that they're throwing out is not as lucrative as it was before, from what I hear.
Right.
So there's a lot of money making opportunities, and it's crazy the day that we're living in. But I don't want to do the acting for the money. A lot of the people that I know are like really trying to get rich off of it, and I'm just like, I want to be set and do it for the passion. You know?
Right.
It's just
I
the way
love
to
it.
do it.
100%. Now, if people, because you're launching a course, right, to help people with TikTok?
Yes. So that's super interesting. That's the reason why I actually wanted to come out here, because I was like, I can make some cool clips. So I was doing a course. Dude, the course game alone blows my mind. It is nuts. Dude, I'm watching videos on YouTube right now, right? And these guys are like interviewing Miami multimillionaires. Dude, every single guy is making all of his millions off courses.
Yeah.
Off courses, dude. Like, it's crazy. Digital products, dude. No initial investment. You know, you're just getting people to subscribe. Really, all it is marketing and having the knowledge. And, dude, I was even watching, you know, a YouTube video the other day of, I think I told you about it, some guy that you're friends with. And he was kind of talking about how his YouTube wasn't really doing the greatest, and he was trying to figure out something to do, dude. And now he's just like, he started 2 courses, and dude, just
caking
$400,000 Lambo, and just, bro, the courses is probably, you know, I mean, in Miami they get it. Like, yeah. I almost feel like Miami is kind of like the new age LA, where the innovators are kind of over there now, as far as the digital age, in e-com and things like that. In Austin too. Austin is like, it's crazy, because like when I lived in Austin, all the videos I was watching were about people that were in LA, and now that I'm in LA, I'm watching entrepreneurs that are all in Austin.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen like the CEO of like all these top TikTok shops are all like the CEO of Truff, Austin, CEO of Bloom, Austin. Like, all these big name brands are all living in Austin. And it's crazy because they're going to the gyms, that they're going to like the Equinox there, and like I would go there all the time.
Yeah.
But where were we going with this? I kind of got lost in the Miami and Austin
course.
sauce.
The course, yeah.
So it's crazy. So anyways, I started the course on the hosting website, but now I have a new game plan, because TikTok actually dropped a subscription service that you can subscribe to your creators. They're allowing me to drop the course on there. And if they subscribe, what they're going to get is they will get one video a week where it's a new lesson of some updated information that I've learned.
Yeah.
And a Q&A video a week. In addition, they get the 10-part course. And this sauce that I'm giving them is like going to make them, you know, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I think right now it's only like $8.99 on TikTok. So I'm kind of like, I should change that price, because they say that it's super low for e-com. Mm-hmm. But I think like just getting the first batch of people in is like kind of the goal right now. So again, it's like, it's really diversifying the revenues. And that's how I started, actually. I started TikTok Shop because I was buying people's courses and just soaking up the information.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. Like I think like the way that you're able to grow from courses is like super, it expedites everything. You don't have to make the same mistakes. You don't have to, you know, fall into the same traps. And in my course, what I want to do is I'm even giving them the winning products. Like, I'm literally like, guys, these are the products that are making me X amount of dollars. Everything's out in the open. I don't feel like I should gatekeep anything with the course. I mean, there's too much money out there to be made to like gatekeep. But the other thing too with my course specifically is that I'm actually doing what I'm selling. I don't want to stop.
Right,
you know,
right.
A lot of these people that do courses kind of just talk about what it is, and they're not actually doing it. And so for me, I always want to maintain a reputation where it's like, I'm in the pits with you guys, and like we're doing this together. Yeah. So
I'm gonna subscribe to the course now.
Dude,
I'm
right now, see it, man.
Yeah,
I'm gonna start selling pickles.
Where can I do it though? Where can I subscribe to the course?
On my TikTok. It's on my TikTok. There's a subscribe button. Legit Tim. On my TikTok, there's a subscribe button, and then you get access to all the videos and all the things.
Dude, I gotta get in on the sauce, so I'm gonna do it right after. Yeah,
you have to. I'm telling you guys, like, even from a business perspective, like, start working with the TikTok shop creators, like, and the other thing too is like working with brands. You have the data to show brands how much you sold. Right. Like I think last month in June I did over $100,000 in total sales for brands. Wow. And so that's great. That's great to show brands as well, you know. And so it's like a lot of the brands nowadays, and this is where I think the brand game is even going to change up. Yeah. Because a lot of the brands right now, they're just throwing money at people with numbers, not knowing if they're going to get their investment back. Yeah. Mm-hmm. With this kind of stuff, it's like, hey, this is the hardcore proof that like we are going to do sales. Wow. You know, we've done sales. Right. Because like, I'll be honest, even in my YouTube game, like I would get crazy brand deals, but like my kids that were watching, it was hard for the brands to like make a return on their investment. With this stuff, it's like, these are the sales we are doing. You know? Yeah. So it's cool to show brands now.
Wow.
For sure. The brand game is changing, bro. People aren't going to just be doing like 60-second ad reads. I mean, they still might be doing it, but those aren't working for the brands. Like, brands aren't really monetizing from that.
Yeah. Yeah,
so
that's what I'm saying. And then, dude, imagine like the brand getting on TikTok Shop. You can sell their product directly. They can put ads on your video, and it's like all in one spot for the brand.
Yeah.
You know?
And so if they're putting ads on your video and you're selling more from your video, you're still making money too from it?
Yes. That's what I'm saying is the crazy part. That's like cool. That is like, because the organic game right now is so good that people are making crazy money just from organics, which is what I was doing. Because, dude, like when I focus on something, I'm trying everything possible. So I even started, people don't know this, but like you can run ads to your own videos. Mm-hmm. So I was doing the margins and I'm like, okay, if I can get, you know, $3-4 in acquisition and then I'm making $8 profit off this product, then we can just scale it up from there. So I even hired a girl from a big ad running corporation to come help me run ads for about a month, and we were just like running it up with the ads, dude. I was spending like, there was days I was spending $1,000 on ads, just like trying to really figure out the sauce. But right now, organic is like the strongest force. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's the strongest force. But yes, brands, when they do run your videos as ads, you are making every single sale. Like I had a brand deal with Lay's potato chips. First time on the TikTok Shop. Paid me a base fee, which is like a normal brand deal. But in addition to that, I made 20% of every sale that I made. So it's like, and then they ran ads on it, dude. So it's just like, ching, 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 ching. Just, you know, it's crazy.
It's wild.
And it's a win-win for both.
And when they run the ads, you're getting way more exposure on your page,
exactly.
too. So it's just building your brand.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
So I think it's like, man, like I said, for sure starting the affiliate, but all the money I'm making from the affiliate, I'm just going to throw back into starting my own brand. And then, you know, paying influencers, or not even influencers, I don't even want to say influencers, paying the affiliates a base salary.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, put one video a day and then whatever you make from the brand, just to get it really fired up.
Wow.
But I think like my goal of my brand would be like to help these kids make bread.
Yeah. You're kind of on the Andrew Tate wave a little bit. This is kind of what Tate did to build his network and his education platform.
Yeah, with
right?
the clips, right?
Yeah,
I mean, dude, imagine though, like, gosh.
I like it.
Give them
imagine, and that's another idea for the course, right? Because it's like once I build these courses and I teach them the sauce, then it's like you drop your own product and it just like goes crazy. Yeah. So, but it has to be a good product. It has to be a really good product that people want. It can't just be anything. So, dude, like I said, I mean, compared to what I was last year, like
the mindset's totally changed.
Totally.
Big difference.
It's insane. And it's just like being in that West Hollywood bubble, dude. Just grinding day in and day out.
Yeah.
Like it's just honestly though, like you have so much more focus here, for sure, than in Texas. There's family and there's, you know, fun times, and LA's very toxic working. Very toxic working. Like you have to kind of balance yourself out, because if you don't, like, dude, when I first moved here, it was really hard to even go out with people. I mean, I know like we had fun times, but like everybody else was like, I'm working. And in Austin, the culture is like, let's have fun every weekend. So it's like, it was a big wake up call to me.
Yeah.
Like I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah.
Let's grind then.
It's the land of opportunity out here. We got to wrap it up. I know we're coming up on time, but where can people find you if they don't follow you already?
Legit Tim on all platforms, IG, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook.
Sweet.
Awesome.
I love it. Thank you guys. Thank you, bro. We appreciate you. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys go follow Tim, leave a review for the podcast, get on TikTok Shop, or you're missing out.
Episode 101, and you know, I'm excited to see where we're at episode 201.
There we go. Go buy some pickles, guys. Talk to you soon. Peace.